What is up, everybody out there on YouTube? This is Michael here with another video. And if you probably recognize me, I'm from another channel. I'm actually got two channels, which I do. I have my gaming channel, and I have my rideshare channel, which I will leave my gaming channel in the link in the description below if you'd like to see that. But right now, we're going to focus on this because along with my usual gaming stuff, I have a full-time job, and I also do rideshare on the side. So there are days I don't feel like gaming, so I'm like, what the heck, I might as well go on the road and make some money. Well, nowadays, making money is pretty much a hit and miss at this point, and I actually just got this survey. Well, actually, I got it a little while ago. I just never got a chance to actually fill it out. But I finally did, and these are actually my honest answers right here. They're my honest, God-honest answers. Some people might be different, some may agree, some may disagree, but these are just my honest answers, alright? So basically, it is a 3-question survey, but the first question is irrelevant to what we're talking about right here. What we're talking about right here is pretty much these 2 questions that you're seeing right here on this side on your screen right now. And again, some people disagree, some may disagree. It all depends on your market, where you're from. But for me, my marketplace is set for Miami, but I don't drive in Miami. I drive in the greater West Palm Beach area, which that's the closest major city there is to me. And pretty much to give you a little bit of a background, I do sometimes drive to Fort Lauderdale, but it all depends if I get a ride that takes me to Fort Lauderdale. Usually, most of the time, I'll only go down there if it's like an airport trip. I generally don't like taking that many trips if it doesn't make any sense. But honestly, I do prioritize those airport trips because honestly, people do need to get to the airport. I completely understand. They're probably putting good money on an airport or an airport ride they need. They need to get to the airport so they can get to their destination. So there's a lot of some rides I do, some rides I don't. I do prioritize airport rides though. I do prioritize them. But we're going to talk about this now. What we're talking about is this. Alright? And like I said, it's a 3-question survey. But the first question is completely irrelevant to what we're talking about. So this question, and I'm just going to pretty much consider this as question 1. How much of the rider's price as a percentage would you estimate Uber typically receives in service fees? My honest opinion is I feel like they're taking 80% of that fare. Because I've actually seen a couple of riders who've actually spent hundreds of dollars on a ride, especially if it takes them from my area to the Fort Lauderdale airport, and I only get like a small chunk of change out of it. Like, I had one rider, I believe, paid almost $200 because they said demand was really high for rides, but I find that completely hard to believe. Because there's not a lot of rides going on, especially here in the West Palm Beach area. Rides here in West Palm Beach are complete dog shit. Unless you're going out later in the evening, taking care of the people that are coming to the airport, or picking up people from the bar who are completely wasted out of their fucking minds. But I prefer taking those who are drunk and take them home because I appreciate them not driving home drunk. But I'm getting off subject right now. Let's just focus on this. How much of the rider's price as a percentage would you estimate Uber typically receives at a service fee? I say they're taking about 80%. Some people may think it's like 60. Some people maybe think it's like 50 or 70 or even 85% for that matter. My honest answer is that they're taking 80% of our fare. And we should be earning more out of it. Because gas prices are actually going down here in Florida a little bit, but they're still a little bit on the high side. Not only that, insurance costs. Insurance is getting more expensive because we got a crazy amount of drivers out there who are driving like fucking idiots. So that's number 2 right there. Then there's maintenance. Some people are not mechanically inclined to do work on their vehicle. Me, on the other hand, I am, but there's some work I obviously can't do on my own. But there are people out there who are mechanically inclined, and there are other people out there who are not mechanically inclined. So they got to worry about that. So maintenance on your vehicle, insurance, gas. Yeah, speaking of insurance, like I said, it's crazy because people are driving like fucking idiots out there. And there's also people who have to deal with those registration when it comes to their end of the year and they have to do their renewals. I mean, it's a little bit cheaper, but still, it's still crazy out there. But yeah, pretty much just maintenance, insurance, gas, registration, other stuff you need for your vehicles. Like miscellaneous stuff. Like you want to make your car smell good, look clean. I do that too. I mean, I mostly do it myself, but that's besides the point. So yeah, they're taking too much out of us. Now here comes the next one, and I think this is actually extremely reasonable considering Uber and Lyft can easily make a fuck ton of money, and I'll explain how in a little bit. Well, let's go with this. What is a reasonable service fee as a percentage that companies like Uber, example Rideshare, ride-hailing, should receive in return for their services? I think they should at least earn 20%, 30% at maximum, because there's no reason for them to take a lot of money from us. Because again, maintenance, insurance, they cost gas. Like I said, gas prices are going down a little bit, but we're still above $3 a gallon. There's still some stations that are still selling gas for above $4, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Now, let's get to the part where I think there's a way for Uber and Lyft to be able to make a fuck ton of money without ripping riders off and without dropping driver pay. I think if Uber and Lyft can decrease the fares even just a little bit and increase driver's pay even just a little bit, I guarantee they'll make a fuck ton of money. You know why? Because if fares are down, that means more demand. And when it means more demand, it means more drivers out on the road. And if you decrease the fare, there's going to be more demand for rides. And if you increase driver's pay, there's going to be more drivers out there. Especially, I know there's some drivers who are cherry picking rides who are pretty much wanting to make at least $1 per mile. Some prefer $2 a mile, but it all depends on the situation. For me, I only do Uber X because that's all I can do. I got a subcompact SUV. Some people have got those amazing vehicles like a Chevy Tahoe or a Suburban or even a Cadillac Escalade or whatever they call it. Or a Lincoln MKZ or Navigator, whatever they call it. They're those big vehicles too. I can't get those vehicles. I cannot afford them. And even with my full-time job, I'm still not able to make enough. Because I got my own bills to take care of. In fact, that's another thing I got to talk about. People got bills to take care of. Rent, utilities, phone bills. And that's another thing that you need for Uber and Lyft. You got to have your phone working in order for you to use the platform. Now, there's some vehicles out there that can use Wi-Fi, so you don't have to necessarily use a phone service, but you obviously need phone service, so that way, if a rider needs to contact you, you'll be able to answer it. And I highly doubt you can use those VoIP numbers that you can get from like Text Now or whatever, which I haven't really tried that yet, but again, besides the point. Pretty much what I think, and like I said, if Uber and Lyft can decrease how much a rider pays per ride and increase how much drivers are making, I bet my life Uber and Lyft can make a fuck ton of money out of this. Because that means increased rides and increased drivers. Drivers will actually have a reason to drive. Drivers will actually have a reason to accept rides. Right now, people are just cherry picking rides because they want to see a minimum of at least $1 per mile. And there are certain situations where I think there should be a tad bit increase if there's like traffic without interfering how much a rider's paying. And I think for like, I know there's certain states that have like toll roads. I know Florida, North Carolina, Ohio has it. I'm not sure about other states. I know West Virginia has some, but I haven't really explored the other states. But I know there's some states that has tolls, and I think people should be properly reimbursed for those tolls. I mean, yes, we do get reimbursed, but I feel like they're not getting the correct amount in tolls being tallied together. And there are a couple of situations where I have to submit how much I'm paying for tolls, especially when I'm taking the express lanes on I-95, because Uber and Lyft doesn't tally those because they see those as regular freeways, when there are actually express lanes where you have to take a toll just to bypass all the bullshit traffic that we have to deal with. Especially if you're in the Miami area, and I've actually made this mistake one time where I was stuck in traffic, I was getting in the express lanes, and tolls were just up above $10 per toll. I'm like, what the actual fuck? And I was in the middle of a ride for that one. I was picking up someone from Miami, which I shouldn't have done. I shouldn't have never even went near Miami. But my stupid self ended up going there anyway. Because honestly, I did want to test the water out over there. But we're getting off subject. I'm sorry about that. Pretty much, in regards to the survey, to keep it short, Uber's taking too much, and I think the reasonable amount is like 20%, 30% at max. And again, if Uber and Lyft can just decrease rider pay, increase driver pay, they'll make a fuck ton of money, and so will we. So hopefully that gives you my perspective about what's going on. There are a couple other channels that I highly recommend watching. I will leave a link in the description for those as well. There's the Rideshare guy, and then there's another one I can't think of off the top of my head, but like I said, the links will be in the description below if you want to get better advice from them than from me, because I'm giving you from what I honestly see. They could see a little bit differently because they see in multiple states, because they actually get the people reaching out. They actually do the research. I mean, I don't do that much research. I'm just seeing what I see in my area. And I will start posting videos more often about what I think about Uber and Lyft, probably within the next couple of months, because it's time for me to start letting my voice be heard. It's time to not let Uber and Lyft tell me to shut up and let my voice be heard, because everyone deserves to have their voice be heard. Alright, we'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.